I can't even ghost you politely and leave. If you are not doing at least one thing that your therapist would raise an eyebrow at, are you really living? It's not about finding the one, it's about becoming the one that doesn't text back. Hey bestie, welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a little get ready with me while I emotionally unpack the 10 things I've learned about dating in my 20s. Because apparently in this decade, you're supposed to find yourself and lose faith in men at the exact same time. So let's get into it. I'm just gonna go through my everyday makeup routine. And this stuff that I got for you is spicy, girl. Just to give you a little background on me, let's do a little spark notes on my dating life in my 20s. A lot of you may not know that I was actually in a 5-year relationship from 20 to 25. Ended really badly, but I learned a lot. It was a friends to lovers situation that slowly fizzled out and burned. Never lived with him, but it was very serious. From there, which if you follow my Instagram page, you know, I've been dating in the wild. I was on the dating apps for a bit. I was on Hinge and Raya, went on dates on both, and realized that I absolutely despised it to my core. There's something just so ingenuine to me about the apps. I don't feel like it was for me. A lot of my friends have gotten married through meeting somebody on Bumble or Hinge, Tinder even. So it definitely works, but for me, it just did not resonate with me and my personality. I ditched the apps and got onto the streets, metaphorically, if you will. So a challenge for myself the past few months has been to date in the wild. So put myself out there and meet people in real life, which in this generation is actually pretty difficult to do. Also, best foundation ever, or It Cosmetics CC Full Coverage Cream. So good. Oh, it's my go-to. I use it every single day. Full coverage, and it has SPF. Say fucking less. Anyways, so yeah, I've been dating in the wild, and even though it's been difficult, it has been so much fun, and I really just wish that more people were making an effort to date in the wild, because I really do think that our society would look so different. But I digress. So I started going on a few dates, and I have been on, I think, like 6 or 7 dates in the wild over the last few months, which, if you know me, I haven't really dated. I had one boyfriend before my long-term relationship in my 20s. I haven't had that much experience because I also didn't go to traditional college. That's a whole nother story. Let me know if you want to know more about that in another video. I used to do ballet professionally, so I was primarily around women and the gays my whole life. This has really been the part of my life at 26, 27, where I have been in this world of dating. So I've definitely learned a lot of shit. So now that you know the backstory lore, we're gonna get into my notes, because this was a academic study at this point. And this is a perfect segue into point number 1, which dating in the wild is superior. Like fighting somebody in the Trader Joe's over the last set of bananas, because if you know, you know. What in the rom-com type of situation is that? That versus a hey at 11:42 p.m. on Hinge will win me over every single time. I just think that if you meet somebody in the wild, I feel like less pressure when you go on the actual date with them, because you don't have all of this back and forth over message before the date to get to know someone. Because when you're chatting with somebody on a dating app, you are already exchanging information. And it's kind of nice to go in blind, and you have more to talk about, in my opinion, on the date when you do meet somebody in the wild. With that being said, again, I said dating in the wild is not necessarily easy. A few ways that I have met people in the wild. Through mutual friends. Blind dates are also so much fun. I've always wanted to do one. I haven't done one, but having your friends set you up on dates, or like asking their guy friends if they have anybody, that's always a superior way to meet somebody. Or if you're in some type of club or community, I think getting involved with local activities. There are so many people who I know have met through run clubs. Not for me, babe, I will not be running, but things like that where you can meet somebody. Also, this is really controversial, but I've done it and it was actually great. Coworkers. If they're not in the same department with you, girl, don't make it messy like that. But like, that's also a great way to meet somebody because you already have something in common and you most likely already have people that you know mutually that you can start some conversation off of. I know there are gonna be some people in my comments that are gonna come for me for saying this, but also meeting people at bars. I know like some people don't like to talk to people at bars, whatever, but genuinely that's where you're going to find a lot of single people. And I also know people who have met in a bar and have a very happy, successful relationship. So don't discount it. Definitely, you know, do your due diligence, but like it is possible. And then there are the crazy one-offs, which, you know, I think it's also just about opening yourself up to the possibility because I was never really interested in dating or like didn't put a priority to it in my mind. And when I told myself that I was going to just put myself out there and try dating in the wild, the opportunity just came to me. When you manifest something like that into the universe, it just changes your like intention outward into the world. And I feel like that's what opened the door for these situations to find me, if that makes sense. A couple of places I've met people in the wild have been dating shows. Going on a dating show, mutual friends, coworkers, and Facebook Marketplace. Hey girl, give it a shot. I did it. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But there's a lot of ways to meet people. Get out there and have fun. Don't take it too seriously. Anyways, that was a really long-winded answer to point number 1. I'm just going in and highlighting my brows right now. My first step of my brows is I always do a little bit of concealer underneath and on top of them just to kind of outline them a little bit and give them some shape. Shout out to my brow girl, Vivian. I love you so much. Just finished my brows using the NYX brow tint pen. This one freaking ride or die. I'm almost out. I need to get another one. And the Pixie Natural Brow Duo. I don't use the pencil. I don't really like it that much, but I do use the brow gel because it's tinted. It's awesome. So anyways, on to point number 2. Point number 2, shoot your shot. They're not that special. The main point being is that you have absolutely nothing to lose. These men are never worth the delusion that you were spiraling over. And something that hit me really, really hard in this department was the Call Her Daddy episode with Megan Fox, which if you have not listened to that episode, pause this, watch it, come back, because it's truly my favorite interview that's ever been done. And I have rewatched that interview probably like 3 times at this point because she is just the absolute queen and she drops so much gold in that episode. It truly changed my brain chemistry. But one thing that she said, my favorite thing that she said, was Alex Cooper asked her, do you ever hit on men? Like, would you ever hit on a man? And she says, I'm reading directly from my notes here, what do they give you really? And I think about that every single day. And something that she says, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on here, but like she said, I've never met anyone who said that they've had mind-blowing, that has changed their life, like emotionally, physically, or like spiritually, whatever. So it's just like, really think about that. You have nothing to lose, babe. Nothing to lose. I'm gonna go in and snatch my nose using liquid contour first. I know you're all here for dating advice, but also my biggest makeup tip after much trial and error is that you always want to do everything in liquid first, set it with powder, and then put powder on top. I promise you this lethal combination will change your life. That came directly from my makeup artist. I cannot take any claim to that. I did not know what I was doing until these very important people came into my life. On to point number 3, communication over everything else. This was the biggest thing I learned in my long-term relationship is if he can't talk about his feelings respectfully, he belongs in the museum. If I have to emotionally interpret your silence, then we're not compatible. Another point to this, the biggest thing I learned from my long-term relationship was you need to create a safe space for each other to communicate. And a big thing that I felt like I learned from that was that neither of us made it a safe space for each other. And you truly, I know this is cheesy to say, but if you don't feel like mutual partners on a team together, then it's not going to work. And creating a safe space for the other person to truly say how they're feeling without judgment or defensiveness, huge. Which is a perfect segue into point number 4, which is boundaries are hot. Use them. I actually respect people. This goes for relationships and friendships. When somebody knows their boundaries and can clearly communicate them, it's harder said than done, but that's the hottest thing ever. Also, blush. Wear beauty and happy. I get a lot of questions about this. It's my favorite. Setting boundaries is not rude. It's not dramatic. And if he calls you too much for having boundaries or standards, tell him to heal that inner middle schooler and exit stage left, babe. Because we're not gonna deal with delayed individuals. You know what you want, so he should too. Okay, we've done all of the liquid. Now we're gonna bake in the oven, babe. Huda Beauty. Love her in peach pie. Peach pie. Point number 5, it was never that serious. AKA, do it for the plot, babe. You cried in public, which I have done, by the way. I have cried in the club over a man. That's a story for another day. Posted a breakup selfie after the breakup announcement. Iconic. Your 20s are for character development. Let me say that again. Character development. The plot is thickening in your 20s. Okay? You're adding on many, many chapters. If you are not doing at least one thing that your therapist would raise an eyebrow at, are you really living? So I guess that also goes hand in hand with shoot your shot. So if a man has, for example, asked you to go to a wedding with him on a first date, which has happened to me, do it for the plot. It's not that serious. Do it for the plot. Why not? You'll learn something from it about yourself, and you can take that and move on. Time to do les eyes. And this girly has gone through some shit with me. The Charlotte Tilbury palette. This is in Pillow Talk Dreams Luxury Palette. It is my ride or fucking die. As you can see, I probably need to get a new one because she's ran through. Number 6. This point is more of a personal opinion, but I think dinner dates are overrated. Dinner dates to me are high risk, mid reward. And what do I mean by this? You are locked in for like 1 to 2 hours when you're on a dinner date. I don't like feeling trapped. I feel like I need to escape at that point. If I don't know them that well, like for a first date, that is literally my worst nightmare. I can't even ghost you politely and leave, but like also get your free gnocchi, girl. Like if you're going in for that free meal and that's your prerogative, I totally respect that. For me, however, my fight or flight could never. I definitely prefer a drink or coffee. Like, you don't need my commitment for that long. On a first date, I don't want to give you that much of my time or energy. Like, I want to be in and out of there if I'm not interested. Or you learn really fast that if you are interested and want to continue the date, then like, that's also a positive too. And then you could go maybe get like a small bite or something like that. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion. Another first date opinion, okay? But I feel really strongly about this, is kissing on the first date to me is overrated. I don't know why I was so shocked when I started dating in the wild and all of these guys that I went on dates with, they always try to kiss you on the first date, always. And it's always at the end of the date. It's like checking something off the list. And I don't know about you, but that just feels weird to me. And I get that people want to see if there's chemistry or whatever, but also it's the first date, babe. I don't know where you've been. I don't know you like that. I don't feel like, unless you know the person like prior, like it's a mutual friend situation, but like if you're just going in like a cold call, like you don't got the relationship to be signing them up for a subscription, you know what I mean? Kissing somebody on the first date, like if he doesn't ask first, especially, absolutely not. Done. He's canceled. If he asks you and you're not feeling it, it's also okay to say no. I feel like there is so much pressure that people get put on that, and that's so unnecessary. Number 7, confusion is the biggest red flag. Another thing that I really learned from my long-term relationship is a feeling that I felt often in that, and the reason I knew it wasn't the right fit for me or him, honestly, was just that I felt confused all the time. I don't hear people people talking about this in relationship to long-term relationships. If you are feeling confused all the time, you feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time, you are in a manipulation trap, whether each person knows it or not. That man is running psychological experiments on you, and you didn't sign the consent form. Run away. In all seriousness though, I for a long time let the confusion fuel me into figuring it out and made me stay longer, even though I knew it wasn't right. Deep down to my core and my intuition, okay? Also, your intuition is always fucking right. Just don't play with that. But yeah, I just feel like that's not talked about enough. Like the confusion element, like that was the biggest red flag. Let's get into the powder, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yeah, we're doing bronzer. Okay, point number 7, or no, 8. Oh great, we're on 8. This one's funny. Good girlfriends ruin mediocre men. If your girlfriends are loving, hype you up, do little things for you, like, I am so sorry to say this, but dating will be hard for you. I am so lucky in my life to have the best girlfriends, like the girls that will, like, you know, bake you brownies on a random day because they just felt like it, or will think about your needs first and like set up your yoga mat for you in class. Like, they have actually ruined men for me because my standards are so high because my girlfriends are fucking amazing. And honestly, at this point, like, female friendships are just something else. And unfortunately, Tyler from Bumble probably doesn't have that range. Usually I would add some type of eyeliner, but I'm just feeling a little lazy today. I'm just gonna go with mascara. This is the Prada mascara, and usually, if I'm being honest, I don't feel like designer cosmetics are worth it, but this mascara, I don't know if you can see this. Wand for this is so cool, and it actually works really well. There's a bunch of science behind it, but all I know is that it really, really works. This is one coat. Look at the difference. Crazy. On to point number 10, which this isn't really a point, it's more of a conclusion, but dating in your 20s will humble you, it will empower you, and it will force you to learn a deep sixth sense about red flags. It's not about finding the one, it's about becoming the one that doesn't text back. Which is a very dramatic, maybe a little toxic way of saying, don't settle, focus on yourself. Because once you are so comfortable with yourself, that's when the world will open up for you. You manifest things into existence. The 10th point is, I think about this a lot. Their time with you has to be better than the time that you spend with yourself. If you are truly so secure in yourself, which I feel like I have put a lot of effort into getting myself to a point where I genuinely love to be by myself. I cherish my alone time. Their time with you has to be better than the time you spend with yourself. A lot of the times when I go on these dates, I would rather be in bed reading with my glass of wine, okay? Because that is peace to me. I am disrupting my peace to go out with you. But there are men, hey, there is hope in the world. I am a beacon of hope for y'all. There are some men who I have gone out with, which I actually did enjoy, like added some, basically it should add something to your life. So that's something important to think about as well. I'm doing the lip combo. This is my literal ride or die Makeup Forever in walnut, wherever walnut. Brief pause as I put this on.
20 minutes later.
Anyways, just put on the lip and now we're gonna choose a glass. I think today I'm gonna go for Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm in Vanilla Beige. Full makeup done. Okay, now we can get into the bonus section, which I like to call red flags that should be illegal. I have also cross-referenced this section with 3 of my besties, so this is a very comprehensive list. If you haven't already, this is when it's time for you to open up the notes app, babe, and start tippity typing, okay? 1. He has beef with every family member, but somehow thinks that you are the drama. If he has a bad relationship with his family, at least for me, as somebody who really cherishes family, it's a no-go. He's rude to baristas because justice for the minimum wage workers. It is the worst feeling ever if they are rude to people serving you. Run for the hills. He's a hardcore mama's boy, which I originally thought was a positive. However, after cross-referencing this section, it's not good. He consistently interrupts you. Mansplaining, it's 2025, babe. We're not doing that. Is this a conversation or is it a podcast where you're the guest he forgot to book? He downplays your interests or doesn't try to take part in your interests. You mention your job, or in my case, your content, and he says, that's cute. Sir, this little business pays my rent. I get paid for being myself. What about you? That is what I've learned about dating in my 20s. And I am here still standing, still single, but still standing with high expectations and standards. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me your most unhinged dating lesson in the comments. Let's make this a group therapy session. I will leave all the products also in the description if you are interested in trying any of them. Now, go shoot your shot and block a man today. Love you, babe. I will see you next time. Bye!